right before the 2008 crash, banks said risky loans were safe. Today, buy now pay later apps are selling the same idea with a new look. Apps like Klarna let you break a payment into four small parts. It's really just a short-term loan that isn't closely watched by the rules. At first, people use it for clothes and electronics. Sounds pretty smart, right? Until people started using it to buy hamburgers.
What?
Yeah. Last year, over 40% of buy now pay later users couldn't pay on time. Most were under 30. These apps go after people who don't know much about money. Unlike credit cards, they don't check your credit. Almost anyone can use them. Might as well give a monkey a loaded gun and cross your fingers. Ahem, ahem. So, the big question is this just smart marketing from these BNPL companies? Or are we heading for another crash like the 2008s? One small payment at a time.
I have $6,300 in minimum payments.
The US government is in astronomical amounts of debt. Why is it a bad thing if I am?
The summer ended and I was $10,000 in debt.
Let's rewind to 2008 for a second. Banks weren't just making risky loans, they were building the entire economy on them. They handed out home loans to people with no income, no assets, and sometimes no idea what they were signing. Wall Street took those loans, bundled them into safe investments, slapped a AAA rating, and sold them to anyone who would buy. But eventually, the payments came due. And when millions of people couldn't pay, the entire system, banks, homes, jobs, retirement accounts, collapsed like a Jenga tower built on lies. So, what does any of that have to do with the $12 Klarna hoodie? Way more than you think. Because underneath the clean UI and pastel branding, buy now pay later is pushing the same dangerous idea. Let people borrow money they probably can't pay back and hope for the best. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, they all promise the same thing. Don't pay now, split the cost into 4 easy chunks. No interest, no fees, no stress. Sounds pretty harmless, right? But behind the scenes, this is a short-term high-risk loan. Except it's not treated like one. There's no hard regulation, no mandatory check, no financial warning signs, just a few taps and boom, you're in debt. Want that $80 jacket? Just swipe and go. It's not debt, it's convenience. Until suddenly, you've got 5 different convenient payments due next Friday, and your paycheck is already gone. Buy now pay later is debt that disguises itself as budgeting, and the industry loves it that way. It's not targeting boomers writing checks at the grocery stores. It's targeting people under 30, people who grew up with TikTok, not tax returns. And it's working. In 2023, over 40% of buy now pay later users missed at least one payment. Most of them were Gen Z or young millennials. Why? Because these apps aren't built like financial tools. They're built like Instagram. Soft colors, cute animation, friendly copy. Fit into 4, they say. Not take out a loan you probably can't afford on something you definitely don't need. And that's not just a branding choice, it's the entire business model. So, how do they actually make money? 2 ways. First, from merchant fees. Klarna charges the retailer a cut, usually 4 to 6%. Why? Because buy now pay later boosts sales. If a customer doesn't have to pay upfront, they are more likely to buy. Second, late fees. If you miss a payment, some apps charge $5 to $10 per item. Sounds small until you've got 5 different purchases stacked up. Here's the kicker. The model works better when users fail. If everyone paid on time, this wouldn't be a very profitable business. So while the ads say we help you budget, the fine print is basically betting against you. At least with a credit card, you know what you're signing up for. There's a credit check, there's a limit, there's a monthly statement that screams at you like a disappointed father. Buy now pay later is still operating in a legal gray zone. which is exactly how things spiraled in the early 2000s. And now people are using buy now pay later for burgers, not phones, not laptops, not emergencies,
Oh
burgers.
my God.
This isn't a joke. Klarna has confirmed that users are financing fast food. This is like refinancing your house to buy fries. Goddamn fries. It shows just how far the line between credit and impulse has disappeared. Once that line's gone, so is your ability to save, plan, or make smart financial decisions. Now, to be clear, no one's saying Klarna is going to crash the global economy tomorrow. But here's what is happening. Millions of young people are normalizing debt for everyday purchases. Buy now, pay later debt is growing fast, but it's not tracked like normal credit. Worse, financial institutions are already bundling and trading this debt. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly what happened with subprime mortgages. One small risky loan is no big deal. A million small risky loans? That's a ticking time bomb. And the cracks are already showing. Klarna reported a huge spike in defaults in 2023. Affirm stock tanked over 80% after investors panicked about growing bad debt. Regulators in the US, UK, and Australia are scrambling to figure out how to respond. But by the time they do, it might be too late. If banks and hedge funds keep packaging this debt the way they did with mortgages, we're back to gambling with borrowed money. So, what's the verdict? Are these companies evil geniuses or just irresponsible? Honestly, both. They took traditional debt, rebranded it, dodged regulation, and gamified borrowing. That's smart, but it's also dangerous. Because the system only works if people stay unaware. As long as the users keep swiping and the merchants keep paying, the machine keeps running, even if it's built on quicksand. So what can you do? If you're using buy now pay later, you're not stupid. You're being marketed to hard. The best defense is awareness. A basic rule of thumb from finance experts: if you can't comfortably buy it twice with your debit card today, don't use buy now pay later. If you miss a payment, don't double down. Stop and reset. Use a budget, even a basic one. Know what's coming in and what's going out. Most importantly, treat buy now pay later like a credit card. If you wouldn't swipe for it, don't Klarna it. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about money. It's about control. The more you owe, the less freedom you have. And the more hidden debt you stack up, the more power these companies have over you. If that sounds dramatic, good. Because 2008 didn't feel dramatic until it was. Buy now pay later isn't evil, but it's not harmless either. And if we ignore the warning signs, we might just buy now and pay later. If this breakdown gave you a fresh look at buy now pay later, hitting subscribe would mean a lot, so you don't miss any future breakdowns like this. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, or you can watch the next video I picked out just for you. Either way, I really appreciate you sticking till the end. See you next Friday. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.